Many thanks for staying with us. And of course, this once again is Politics HQ. Now, as the People's Democratic Party prepares for its national convention, internal dynamics are coming into sharper focus. Now, the faction aligned with Nyesom Wike is positioning itself against the current leadership under Umar Damagum, raising questions about the party's unity, strategic directions, and the implication for 2027. What's at stake isn't just leadership, it's the party, its future relevance, and its ability to present a united front ahead of 2027. In this internal wrangling, of course, a sign of democratic validity or a symptom of deeper dysfunction, are some of the pivotal issues that we will be looking at this evening. Now, joining me to discuss on this is Khalid Barau, is the SSA to the Executive Governor of Bauchi State on Empowerment. I also have George Turnah, is the Zonal Secretary, South-South Zone for the People's Democratic Party. Gentlemen, thank you for staying with me.
No problem.
All right, I think we are just continuing our conversation from where we stopped on Friday. It's good to have you, gentlemen. Let me start with you, Mr. George Turnah. It's, a lot is happening within the People's Democratic Party, and the Minister of the FCT did raise some concerns. I remember in our last conversation, you made reference to some court rulings that you feel the party needs to pay attention to avoid or not to create a precedent that at the end of the day, maybe in future will pose a problem. I'd like you to speak on that.
Okay, thank you very much. That was good to see you again. Good evening, Nigerians. And my brother, thank you for joining us this evening. Okay, like I noted the last time, we were on a threshold, putting structures together to have a convention that will ultimately produce the next set of national leaders for our party, members of the National Working Committee. And let me say that from my perspective, I want to believe, and I do know and hope that every member of this party and all our leaders mean well for the party, and all hands are on deck, to ensure that we arrive at a safe destination. Now, conventions is a very critical moment, in getting us take off for the 2027 general elections, especially the elective convention at national level. Because, of course, the role of the national chairman and national secretary in nominating candidates to INEC is very critical. Now, we have some issues. In Southeast, for instance, there are court pronouncements, judicial pronouncements with respect to Ebonyi and Anambra states, right? Where the courts have intervened in the leadership of the party in those states. And it is only safe that we have a leadership that is not encumbered, right? That is not under any form of legal challenge to go for the convention, because the delegates to the convention is as critical as the outcome of the convention. Once you have illegitimate delegates, you have the convention is already tainted in illegality, and of course it cannot stand. In Southeast, we also have issues with court judgments. The Southeast Congress that produced the set of leaders we have today has been roped in legal contestations to the point that the national vice chairman, Honorable Ale, was expelled by his ward That expulsion was upheld by the local government and the state. And then the Federal High Court in Abakaliki have also affirmed his expulsion from PDP. So in the eyes of the law, Ali is not a member of the PDP as of today. Now, that judgment also goes further to state that any meeting of the PDP tendered by Ali is clothed in illegality and null and void. Now, the national leadership of our party is still carrying on, recognizing and dealing with Ali, Honorable Ali, as national vice chairman of the party in the Southeast. This is dangerous. Now, it is Ali that conveyed the zonal congress wherein the set of leaders, executives for the zone who will be attending convention, and the court have nullified that. That congress was also conducted in disobedience to valid restraining orders of court.
Okay, all right.
Now these are critical. For Ekiti State, the court have nullified the Congress, local government Congress that the party conducted.
So, Judge, just to have a, I'm still going to come back to you, for some of these details. But from what you've been able to explain, there seems to be layers of multiple court cases that have not been, resolved or maybe adhered to. But let me leave you for a moment and go to Khalid Barau. Khalid is the SSA to the Executive Governor of Bauchi State on Empowerment. Your principal has said, in spite of the hurdles, in spite of the challenges, this convention must hold. But maybe I should start by first asking you, he mentioned Honorable Ali being expelled from the party. I want to ask, are you aware of this? Do you still consider Honorable Ali a member of the People's Democratic Party and even an ESCO within the party, national vice chairman?
Well, Mr. Dapo, thank you very much for having me once again. Good evening, fellow Nigerians and my elder brother, George Turnah. You see, in all of this political wrangling, especially in the PDP, I think all these things ought not to have happened, actually. If we truly believe in what we have built for the past 6 years, because I guess that's the age of PDP today, about 2.5 decades. I think we should not build a house and come and set the house on fire. What is actually happening today is like we are trying to demolish a house we have spent almost more than 2.5 decades in building it, and everybody has enjoyed the fruit of that house. Now, looking at the 2027 general election, and particularly the convention itself that is coming up in November, the party has set up a reconciliation committee headed by a very distinguished Nigerian, a former governor of Kwara State, His Excellency Dr. Bukola Saraki. And I am very, very sure that the committee has met all parties involved, either parties that have litigations and parties that have, misunderstanding or disagreement on so many of the issues. And I don't think we should continue to be adding more fuel to the fire that is currently happening in PDP. What I think that the faction or the side of Mr. Nyesom Wike should do is to, shield their swords, come and sit down on the table. Because all these things is about consensus, it's about agreement, you understand? It's about realignment. Because if we believe in the principles and ideology of PDP, then I don't think we should let our problems go to court and even let the court decide our future. Because for me, certainly, I don't believe that all the crisis that is happening is a natural crisis. It's a crisis that was created, and some people are definitely beneficial from it, and it doesn't take us anywhere.
Like which people?
So
what people? What are the people benefiting from the crisis?
Absolutely. In every crisis, there are beneficiaries.
But in this case, who are those?
People know them.
I don't know them. I don't know them.
You are a journalist, you are an investigative journalist, and I'm sure you can be able to find your way and get to know them. There are people who are benefiting from all this crisis, and it doesn't mean well for our own democracy.
Sorry to interrupt you. Let me ask George Turnah. Do you know those benefiting from the crisis in your party?
Yeah, those benefiting are those starting out with impunity, those who will not want to respect judgments of court, knowing the implications, of such actions. So maybe there are moles within the PDP ranks. Otherwise, should anybody be shouting to ask a party to respect the rule of law, respect pronouncements of courts? Maybe we have moles within our ranks. They know what they are doing.
That's a big issue you've raised there. I'm going to come back to you, Khalid, please. But please, we'll need to go on a quick break. When we return, we'll dwell more on this issue. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Many thanks for staying with us. I still have Khalid Barau, the SSA to the Executive Governor of Bauchi State and Empowerment, as guest this evening, and George Turnah, the Zonal Secretary of South-South Zone of the People's Democratic Party. We are looking at the internal, crisis within the People's Democratic Party. All of this, towards the build-up to its national convention in November. Gentlemen, thank you for staying with me. I'm coming to you, Khalid. I'll just speak something from what George said. I'd like you to please respond to this in line with your line of thought earlier. George is suggesting that maybe those benefiting from the crisis are people who have refused to, follow court proceedings, and maybe there are even moles within the party planted to destabilize the party. Are you aware of these moles?
Oh, with all due respect to my brother, George Turnah, let me tell you one thing. People take advantage of our own judicial system, you understand, to create a lot of mayhem, a lot of disunity, a lot of discomfort within our own political ranks, and it doesn't end well for our own democracy. Now, let me tell you this: if a party like PDP will hold a Congress, a sitting governor, democratically elected governor, will be there. A former Senate president who is presently the chairman of the BOT, Senator Adolfo Swabra, will be there. All delegates will be there. Everybody was there, and you accuse that Congress of not being legitimately conducted. I think something is wrong somewhere, and we need to ask ourselves the truth. Do we really want to see the future of this party continue do we really want to see Nigerians continue to enjoy the fruit of this democracy under our own political party, the PDP, or we just want to achieve our own self-interest by destabilizing the biggest and the largest political party that has ever been built in Nigeria, in the entire African nations? PDP, as you can see, everybody that is almost enjoying democracy today in Nigeria, almost 2 over 3 of Nigerian politicians were members of the PDP. So you cannot bite the hand that feeds you. It doesn't end well for you. It doesn't eager well. And let me tell you, all these things you see, I swear to God Almighty, there will be an end to it. And what will be your future? What will be your fate? You don't just take advantage of, a minor crisis and try to add more fuel to it, and enlarging the crisis just for your own benefit.
So
no,
largely,
this is not politics.
So largely, you feel that all of this is in the personal interest of certain persons.
Absolutely, it is in the personal interest of some individuals that both you and me and my brother George Turnah knows.
I don't know this individual, so I'm not a member of the party. I would like you to maybe speak and tell us who exactly this individual is. But since you said George is aware, let me direct it to him. So, George Turnah, who is this individual within your party that is shaking up things, for his own personal interest?
I must thank and commend you in the manner you have conducted this, because it exposes what you are talking about. I have said there is a certain Honorable Ale, right, who is no longer a member of our party, whom the court have said you cannot even attend a meeting of this party, not to talk of you being the one summoning a meeting. You ask him if that is the position, he has not answered. And he knows his principal, the chairman of our governors forum, who is my very, good, respected elder brother, also knows the situation with Ale. Now, if Honorable Ale, in the illegality that he now, carries with the court pronouncement, convenes a Southeast Zonal Congress, because by the Constitution, it is the zonal chairman that will summon a Congress that elects, officials of the zonal working committee. Now, that Ali goes ahead in illegality to summon a Congress, elective Congress for Southeast, and attended by all the governors of the Southeast, attended by all the Senate presidents in this world, attended by all the presidents, even the president of America. Does this take away the illegality in that Congress? The answer is no. The law is law. It's when the law speaks, every other thing.
But he also said, sorry to interrupt you, George. He also said that it appears like some individuals within the party are using the law for their own advantage. They seem to sort of focus on areas that seem to benefit them. Do you think this is the case?
Look, politics is played along interest line. Politics is interest-based. It's conspiracy for control of power and scarce resources.
So part of that conspiracy for control involves the judiciary too.
I'm coming. Where there is conflict, the judiciary is there to serve. It's a constitutional responsibility. Otherwise, we live in a state of anarchy. So when there are conflicts, the venue for resolving conflicts is and those people who go to court, who approach the court a lot of times are law-abiding citizens because they don't resort to self-help. They put their case before the court and ask the court to decide. And when a court makes a pronouncement, it doesn't matter whether I as George Turnah likes it or Khalif likes it. A court pronouncement is a court pronouncement. So it says that people use the courts to advantage to themselves. It's neither here nor there. There's a court pronouncement. As there's a court pronouncement, it must be obeyed. In Ekiti, the court have said there is no local government executive of the party. And local government chairman of the party are automatic delegates, statutory delegates to the National Convention. Now the court ordered the Congress should be conducted with specific lists. The court went as far as listing those who qualify as delegates to go for those local government Congress. If you don't do these congresses, you deprive, right? You disenfranchise and you deny the people of Ekiti their rights to participation at the convention. Now, if you carry on with the illegitimate people who are there now because they favor your own leaning, right, within the party, to the convention, you have ended up carrying illegitimate delegates to the convention that will nullify, the
George,
we are simply saying.
Okay. I just want to ask you this direct question. Okay, please land so that I would ask you the direct question and then move to Khalid.
What we are simply saying is that, look, leadership should take responsibility, the right thing. The right thing. We're all members of the party.
Okay.
Having leanings and having cartels and having cliques and having, they are normal. It's politics. They are normal.
Okay. Now, my question to you, because we are really racing, with time, before I move to Khalid is, do you think that the Minister of the FCT now, Mr. Nyesom Wike, who is also a member of the People's Democratic Party, your party, he's working for the ruling party, which, if we have to look at it from the PDP's perspective, is an opposition. Do you think he's working in the interest? Please, I want a very, very sharp answer. Do you think he's working in the interest of the PDP ahead of 2027?
Yes, I will tell you a straight yes, and I will make a few clarifications. The FCT Minister, Chief Nyesom Wike, is not working for the APC, as you put it. He's working for the government of Nigeria, the federal government of Nigeria. And let me tell you, before he accepted a nomination to be a minister in President Tinubu's cabinet, he wrote to the party, including the NWC, the National Working Committee, headed by the chairman we have now. They gave him approval. This will not be the first time. Who started it?
The reason why I asked this,
the governor of Bauchi, with
the reason why
respected book,
okay,
I comment. I share a very special relationship with the governor of Bauchi, and I don't. That is not, So he was appointed into President Jonathan's administration from another party at the time. So it will not be the first time,
Okay. Thank you very much. The reason why I asked this, George, please listen, is because for many Nigerians, with what they saw happen with the local government elections in Rivers State, the just concluded LG elections that happened in Rivers State, many are beginning to wonder which party exactly the FCT minister, is working for. But let me leave it at that and go to Khalid. Khalid, straight questions to you too. The same.
To that issue of River State.
Okay, if you can respond in 30 seconds, so I can move to Khalid. 30 seconds, sir.
Yes. You see the situation in River State is the same thing we are trying to avoid at the national. People were even afraid to take PDP nomination for the local government election. The whole of that 20 local government, there were no PDP candidates because of the uncertainty. The same problem they are facing everywhere. In Rivers State, they came and created factions with two leaderships and recognizing this, recognizing that, away from the legitimate leadership. So people were afraid. You struggle to win an election and tomorrow they court throw you out. That's why we didn't have PDP candidates in the whole of 20 local government areas.
Okay.
So it's the same thing. You see the that we are in.
All right, George. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, George. Thank you, George. Let me go to Khalid. Khalid, he has raised quite a couple of issues. What George is insisting is that due process, ahead of this convention, due process needs to be followed. So, and he also brought up the issue of Honorable Ali again, which I'm going to ask you is, are you aware that he has been expelled from the party? I'd like you to respond to that. And also, do you have confidence in the judiciary? Because you also seem to infer that it's used as a tool, for the benefit of some people. And then my final question is, do you believe the Minister of the FCT is working, in the interest of the PDP?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dapo. Before I answer your questions, let me just briefly speak on three different things that Mr. George Turnah mentioned. One is he talks about politics is aligning with interest. Yes, it is aligning with interest. I believe it is aligning with interest. But wherever the interest of the nation comes first, I think you should put away your own personal interest and look at the interest of your nation. Just like what my governor, that is why I have so much respect for my governor, and I always cite example with him. When the zoning committee headed by the governor of Bayelsa State, His Excellency Senator Deoderi, zoned the presidency to the south, my governor has been nursing presidential ambition, but because of the interest of the unity of the party comes first to him, he has to relinquish and accept the zoning formula and support the zoning of the presidency to the south. One. Two, on the issue of conspiracy, conspiring, you said politics is you can conspire to control. Why will you conspire to destroy what you have built? Now, the third thing is, Mr. George Turnah said the reason why the 20 local government areas in Rivers State refuses to pick nomination form for PDP is because of the crisis of leadership. Now, I want to throw this question to him. The chairman of Obia4 local government, the local government originally where the FCT minister comes from is PDP. And the FCT minister is a lawyer. It's a life bencher of the Nigerian legal system. So he doesn't know the legal crisis that is happening within PDP and let his local government, a PDP candidate was elected as chairman of that local government. This is another question for him. Now, coming back to the issues you raised, if at all there is an expulsion of Odefe from PDP as the zonal chairman of the Southeast, and the stakeholders of that zone practically maybe engage every stakeholder, which we can probably call it, a settlement out of court, which of course I believe it can happen. And despite probably showing their own allegiance to the leadership of Ali in that zone, and still my own brother is talking about illegitimacy, then definitely we need to ask the leaders of that Southeast zone, if at all they don't know about these litigations. This is one. Two, you talk about if the FCT minister is having so much interest in the party. You see, I am always not trying to engage myself in issue of the Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital Territory. To me, it's not a crime for him being a minister of the Federal Republic because he is serving his nation. And of course, yes, I know, I watched one of his interview, I think towards the beginning of this year, when he said he has to inform the party at the state level, the zonal level, and the NWC that the president is nominating him to be part of his own cabinet, and the party agreed to him to do that. Yes, I believe what he is doing is serving this nation. But no matter what, you were a former chairman who served for almost 8 years under PDP. You were appointed as chief of staff to a certain PDP governor. You were appointed as state minister of education under PDP. You served as a governor of a state, one of the richest states in Nigeria, for 8 good years. And you feel maybe 1 or 2 things were not done in your own favor, and you feel you want to destroy what you have built? Does that make sense to you? No. I don't believe if you're doing this, you're doing it for the interest of the party. You are only doing it for your own personal interests. And I have so much respect for him. I cannot abuse him. I cannot tarnish his image or whatever. But to me, what is happening today in PDP is that they are destroying what they have built.
All right. I noticed that you are laughing, George Turnah. Maybe I should just give you the right to respond briefly to some of the things he has said.
You see, Minister Wike has the PDP running in his DNA. That's why he could take the risk, despite the uncertainty. He could take the risk to encourage the PDP to field candidates in his local government, and he has won. The rest remains if he's able to navigate all the oppositions to ensure that there are no legal disputes. Otherwise, the consequences. No, I'm coming. So for a man that can take a risk for his party, even knowing that there are, legal landmines, they took the risk to encourage his local government to go for the PDP, tells you how much of belief he has in the PDP. Now, but coming to the national politics, it's a different game. You don't take those kind of risks. In Zamfara, for instance, we saw how elected officials were sacked by the court. Process and procedure is very key. Process and procedure is very key. You can have an end, but the means to that end matters a lot.
So, George, so what you are saying, just to sum up what you are saying that even if this convention should hold, you are just trying to make the party understand that, look, whatever decisions reached can still be nullified in court. Is that what you are saying? If process and procedures is not reached.
Yeah, what we are saying is that, look, we believe in the rule of law. And Minister Wike, that I know, hates injustice, so much. He believes in fairness, and equity. Now, as a leader, as a national leader of the party, he has a duty to serve as a watchdog over the leadership of the party, to draw the attention to where things go wrong and then commend them when do well. We support the convention, we have said so, of course, clearly. But what we are saying is that in getting to this convention, look at XYZ so we don't fall into the deep shit of having to struggle, win elections, and our candidates are asked to vacate by the court simply because we didn't respect or obey court judgments. Minister Wike will not be in an environment where there is disregard for court judgment. It's a life venture. Don't forget. It's a life venture. You cannot be in a party where clear judgments and orders of court are disregarded. Our national chairman, former national chairman, Uche Secondus, former national chairman, Iyochayu, why did they leave office? Pronouncement, they were suspended by the awards. And the court confirmed, said, gentlemen, please, can you excuse us? So what is the problem? What is the challenge now? Even the national chairman we have today became acting national chairman on the strength of judicial pronouncement. So what is it that there are obvious court judgments telling you, at the first, and you cannot respect this judgment, and you want to go into a convention disregarding judicial pronouncement? Those who went to court have a right to the fruit of these judgments.
All right, George.
If a party goes to court and the court says this is illegitimate, for like the case of the South.
All right, George. I'm sorry I need to interrupt because we need to go on a quick break. Definitely, yes, once we return, I'll take your final thoughts on this. Stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, many thanks for staying with us. It's still Politics HQ on News Central Television. And of course, we are still talking about the People's Democratic Party, some of the issues arising ahead of its national convention in November. Khalid, before we wrap up on this conversation, in 30 seconds, what would be your message to party members and maybe those that, have issues ahead of the convention? In 30 seconds.
Well, my message goes directly to the people who believe and advocate for threatening the convention of this party, the unity and unification of the party ahead of November convention. That if you believe you are a carrying card member and you, like my brother George Turnah said, that PDP runs in your DNA, then I don't believe court is the best way to settle your own, crisis or your own problem or your own issues that you think maybe some camp or some section or some part of the party were subjected to any kind of illegitimacy or illegality. If you believe in the unity and unification of this party, then you should shield your sword.
All right.
Come back to family, join your family, join the governors of the party, the NWC, the stakeholders, everybody in the party, and move forward. That's my message to the PDP family.
All right, thank you very much. George, your final thoughts on this in 30 seconds ahead of the convention.
Yeah, thank you. Leaders should do what is right. Nyesom Wike is not in court for anything. He has not put forward any interest other than calling the party, to do the right thing in the overall interest of the party. I sympathize, honestly speaking. The way they manner and they demonize and try to, put Wike before the public as one who is destroying the PDP is very unfortunate, and I sympathize with him. Nyesom Wike, I can put on record, is one of the most betrayed politician living alive in Nigeria, maybe apart from Goodluck Jonathan. And it's really unfortunate. This man means well for this party. He has put everything he has, his body, soul, and spirit, his financial resources, everything, to building this party and ensure that this party is what it is today. And it is unfortunate, that we'll continue to demonize him, continue to put him out there as one who is and I mean, that is not it at all. It's not right. So leadership should do the right thing and let us get on with the convention.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, George Turnah, the Zonal Secretary, South-South Zone of the People's Democratic Party, and also Khalid Barau, the SSA to the Executive Governor of Bauchi State on empowerment. Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure having you. Thank you once again for your time.